Why are people with avoidant attachment style so selfish? Well, think of avoidant attachment style as a defense mechanism for having non-existent nurturing before your second birthday. As a baby, we are all born premature. So you and I come born completely defenseless and reliant on our caregivers, especially our mother. Avoidantly attached people are typically people who have experienced that level of lost nurturing. And by the way, that lost nurturing cannot be made up. It cannot be recaptured without intense grieving or intense focus on healing from avoidant attachment style. And that takes a level of commitment that most avoidants are by default not willing to do. They're not willing to be intimate with themselves, let alone other people. So what happens with this defenseless baby who comes out and is disregarded from the get-go is that initially they will cry, scream, and beg for closeness, for nurturing. And it repeatedly never came. That neglect was repeated over and over and over until the avoidant becomes completely despondent. And in order to survive, they develop this shell around themselves that helps them survive in the world. And they don't know anything different from this shell of survival. So going back to this defense mechanism against completely non-existent nurturing, an avoidant is so selfish because they are not at all familiar with the flow of reciprocal connection in human relationships. They are unfamiliar with vulnerability and they have no desire whatsoever to feel their own emotions or to feel your emotions. This is why relationships are completely uninteresting to the avoidant. Here's what is interesting to the avoidant though. Taking what they can get from you and then disappearing when they've gotten it. An ego boost, a high value image of themselves. And often avoidantly attached people love to put a ton of their metabolic energy and focus into building this beautiful facade of the kind of person and the kind of life that they live, because they have no actual substance and soul inside of this shell. You can even think of it like this. It is technically our parents and our caretakers' job to give us and offer us resources without expecting anything in return. I mean, how many times have you heard that word, motherhood is a thankless job? It's because you are constantly pouring into a needy dependent, okay? And this is not to hate on children. I have 3 beautiful children myself. But this is to say that the avoidant has parents who could not give them resources. So if you come into the world and your first imprints, your first memories are of complete selfishness, and you know that you can't rely on anyone, then answer me this. How could you ever give to someone else? How could you ever feel someone else's emotions? How could you ever feel your own emotions?